This is a 2015 Land Rover Discovery 4, and in this video I'll just show you how I'm replacing the motor here inside the door mirror. So I thought I'd make this video because I haven't been able to find the answers myself on YouTube. I've looked at loads and loads of videos on mirrors and I couldn't find the information how you get this motor out on these mirrors. And as you can see, I've taken the rear cap off because I thought you could access the clips at the back, but that's not the case with this mirror design, and I've worked out how to get it out, so I'll cover that in this video. So first off, you've got to get the mirror glass out, and to do that with your hands just push against the motor so the mirror is pushed inwards as much as it can be, and then get your fingers along this edge and just pull it. You have to be a bit brutal, and it's held on with these clips there, 4 clips, and held on to the ring of the motor there. And then you've just got to take these 2 wires here off the 2 terminals there. This is your heater element in the glass, and then you can get rid of the mirror. And then this exposes the motor here. And the reason why I'm changing this motor is when I'm using the switch down there inside the vehicle, the motor is only moving on one axis. It's moving up and down, I think, in this case, but it's not moving left and right. So that's why I've got to change that motor. So here's my replacement motor, and the part number is CRP500031. So I only paid £40 for this on eBay. It was meant to be new, but when I took it out, it doesn't look new to me. So I'm wondering whether someone's just sold me their second-hand motor and have put it in the box that their new one came in. But I then did check the dates on it, and it's got the date written in the plastic there, and it's 2023, whereas my one is 2015, so maybe it is new. But anyway, this is the original one, as I can tell, because it's the same age as the vehicle. So I hope it's going to be okay. So it's mounting like that, and we can see here where it mounts. So it mounts in these 3 places, and we've got to push those down, but you're accessing it from the front where this outer ring gets in the way. So that's why I then try to access it from the back by taking the cover off, thinking I might be able to slide a screwdriver down a slot here, but all this plastic is in the way. We want to get there and there and there, but if we just concentrate on that one that you can see, there is no access to it from this side. It's in there. I don't think you can get to it through there, so we want to be here. But anyway, I found another way of doing it. Before I just show you that, I'll just quickly mention that I have removed the screws from this outer cover here, thinking I might be able to take the mirror apart. You don't need to do that. They're T10 Torx. And obviously I've removed this mirror cap here. So in case you do want to move the mirror cap, the way I found, well, the best way I found to get that off, it was very tricky, is to open the mirror like this and attack it just here with a plastic trim tool. So using a trim tool like that, I got in about that point and started levering it somewhere about there. So with that rested on there, I'll just show you the clips on the back, and they're like that. I'm just going to say, don't think any have snapped, but that one is folded over and is now snapped off. So yeah, I do have one little bit of snapped plastic. That's the trouble taking these things off. You never quite know how they go on, and then they break. But this slides in clearly at the bottom there. So that is your edge there. So you want to slide this back into place. But anyway, for changing the mirror, you don't really need to take that cover off. Sorry. Changing the mirror motor, should I say. So next we've got to get this motor off its base. And you'll see there are some Torx screws along the base, and I did have a go at getting those out, but you can't really get a screwdriver in at the right angle because of this outer ring of the motor gets in the way. Even if you move it, it gets in the way because you can move this. This one is particularly stiff, so I'm not surprised it's not working. But we need to get to the little tags inside these mounting clips. And the tools you really want for this is a right angle pick like this, but this has got a handle that is too long. So I've got this one, and that works well. And these are cheap and cheerful tools I got off Amazon. There was a whole set of various little picks like this, and I'll find these and put a link to it in the video description below, because I think these were only a few quid. But using this one, we can get down there and release the tag like that. So just got to do that on the other two. So this motor's now out, and I did that off camera because I needed both hands because I needed to hold the torch. So I unclipped that one and then swiveled the motor so I could access this one, and then as soon as this one came out, this one fell out straight away anyway. So we can now remove the electrical connection here and put in the new one. And to get the electrical connector out, we can see we've just got to open those little grippy bits up, and I just found getting a screwdriver in there was enough to do that. So I've just felt how stiff this original one is compared to the new one, and they're both the same. So I've got the new motor here, and I've put the wiring connection back in, and then it's just a case of getting this snapped back in place on those 3 mounting holes. It might be worth as well, before you do the job, take a photograph so you know the orientation of this, because you want to look for those 2 white plastic lugs that are pointing sort of up in that direction. But anyway, that's in place. So before I go any further, I'm just going to try it inside the car and make sure this is turning on both axes. So select that to right. Oh dear, it's the same. It's going down, but it's not going back up. It's going inwards, but it's not going back out. So it's not one axis it's not working, it's 2 axis, and it's only working one way. So it's not the switch, because if I use the left mirror, it works both ways. I thought it did, and I've just realised it's not working now both ways on the other side. It was before. So clearly this switch is faulty and the mirror motor wasn't. That's a pain, because before I ordered that I did double check, and that mirror on that side of the vehicle was working just fine the other day, but it's now not. It's only working the same as this one. What a pain. So in my case, it was obviously a bit intermittent, and I've gone and replaced the wrong item. What I need to be replacing is that little toggle switch there. So anyway, back to this job. So next we've got to put this screw back in the middle, and that is a T10 Torx. And I have put in the 3 screws that I took out, which I didn't need to remove, which are holding the black gloss frame in place. And then I've got to put the mirror cap on, but before I do that I'm just going to clean this grime along the top of the indicator here. So to put this cover back on, I'm probably not going to be able to do this on camera, because it's going to need 2 hands to make sure all those clips are in the right place. But by the looks of it, you've got to make sure the bottom is in first, and then you can then squash the top down to get it under the frame there. So I'll probably, I'm going to need 2 hands to do that, because you've got quite a bit of squeezing. But that's just a case of getting the bottom in and then clipping in the top and making sure that's all sat down as it should be. So I'll upload this video anyway, because even though in my case I got this completely wrong and that motor didn't need changing, someone will find this useful in the future. and may well make the same mistake I did by taking the cover off when it wasn't needed, and then potentially you snap the lugs when you've got to do it all from this side in this design of mirror. So I've now got to work out why this switch isn't working. It's just a pain that it did seem to work the other day when I tried it out on the other side, and it wasn't working on this side, but clearly it was intermittent and it threw me. So I've got to replace that in my case to get these mirrors to work properly. But anyway, hope you find it useful. Okie doke, bye now.